Trump just threatened Iran with war again. Either we reach a deal or we'll have to do something very tough. That's what he told the Israeli media on Tuesday. Something very tough. And he's already sent a massive armada to Iranian waters, aircraft carriers, destroyers, the whole fleet. He's considering sending a second carrier group right now. The US government just warned American ships to stay as far away from Iranian waters as possible. And Trump literally said, "We took out their nuclear power last time. We'll see if we take out more this time." The last time was June 2025. He already bombed Iran, 3 nuclear facilities, 12-day war, 6,000 Iranians were killed in protests after. And now he's threatening to do it again. Is this negotiation, or is this the build-up to invasion? Because I'm going to show you why Trump's own words suggest he's already made up his mind. Stay with me. Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Trump gives an interview to Channel 12, an Israeli news outlet. They ask him about Iran, about the nuclear talks happening in Oman, about whether there's hope for a deal. And Trump says this: either we reach a deal or we'll have to do something very tough. Something very tough. Not sanctions, not diplomatic pressure, something very tough. From a president who already bombed Iran 8 months ago, from a president who just abducted Venezuela's president 3 weeks ago, from a president who has a massive military fleet sitting off Iran's coast right now. What do you think something very tough means? Let me give you context. Last week, US and Iranian officials met in Oman. Secret talks. The US sent Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, Steve Witkoff, Trump's envoy, and for the first time ever, they brought the military. Admiral Brad Cooper, US Navy, head of Central Command. Why would you bring a military admiral to nuclear negotiations, unless you're preparing for something that isn't negotiation? Iran sent their security chief, Ali Larijani. He's meeting with the Sultan of Oman right now, discussing the results. Iran's foreign minister said publicly, "We can reach a deal if it's fair and equitable." Fair and equitable. That's the key phrase. Because Trump's position isn't fair. Trump's position is zero nuclear capability, complete dismantlement, total surrender. Iran says no. We have a right to civilian nuclear energy. International law allows it. We're not building weapons. We're enriching for power. And Trump says, I don't care. Zero enrichment or war. But wait, it gets worse. Trump told Fox Business this week, "We have a massive flotilla right now going over to Iran. We'll see what happens. I think they want to make a deal. I think they'd be foolish if they didn't." Massive flotilla. That's not diplomatic language, that's invasion language. And he's right, there is a massive flotilla. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, support ships, destroyers, submarines probably, all sitting in the Indian Ocean near Iranian waters. And according to Channel 12 and Axios, Trump is considering sending a second aircraft carrier, 2 carrier groups, off Iran's coast during negotiations. How do you negotiate with a gun to your head? You don't. You either surrender or you prepare for war. And then Monday, the U.S. Maritime Administration issued a warning. Official government warning to all U.S.-flagged commercial ships. Stay as far as possible from Iranian territorial waters. Why? What do they know? What's about to happen? You don't warn ships unless you expect conflict. You don't tell captains to avoid an area unless that area is about to become a war zone. So either the U.S. government thinks Iran is about to attack shipping, or the U.S. government knows the U.S. is about to attack Iran. And given Trump's threats, I'm betting on option 2. Now let me remind you what happened last time. June 2025. Trump authorized airstrikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. He called it Operation Midnight Hammer. Happened during a 12-day war between Iran and Israel. The U.S. joined in, bombed nuclear sites, destroyed enrichment centrifuges, killed Iranian nuclear scientists. Iran retaliated, fired missiles at U.S. bases, attacked shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices spiked. The war lasted 12 days. It ended in a ceasefire, but the damage was done. Iran's nuclear program was set back years, and thousands of Iranians died. Not from the bombing, from what came after. Protests. Massive protests against the government. People are furious that Iran got dragged into a war, and the Iranian government responded with brutal force. Security forces opened fire on crowds. 6,000 people were killed. That's not my number. That's from human rights groups. That's documented. 6,000 dead in a crackdown. And Trump did nothing. He threatened to intervene. January 2nd this year, he said he'd come to their rescue, but he didn't. He watched. And now he's threatening the same government that killed those protesters. Let me tell you what Trump actually wants. He wants regime change. He's compared Iran to Venezuela multiple times. On January 3rd, Trump sent U.S. special forces into Venezuela. They abducted President Nicolas Maduro, literally kidnapped a sitting president, flew him to the U.S. He's in custody right now awaiting trial. And Trump has said repeatedly, Iran is next. Look what happened to Maduro. That could be Iran. That's not negotiation. That's a threat. That's telling the Iranian leadership, make a deal or we'll do to you what we did to Maduro. And Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, responded. He said, any U.S. attack on Iran will start a regional war. Regional war, not just Iran, not just the U.S. The whole Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Hezbollah, Hamas. Everyone gets pulled in. Oil stops flowing. Prices explode. Global economy crashes. And Trump's response? We'll see if he's correct. But wait, there's something nobody's talking about. Trump's own party is worried. Republicans in Congress have been quiet. They're not cheering for war. They're not demanding Trump bomb Iran. They're silent. Why? Because midterm elections are in November, 8 months away, and polls show Americans do not want another Middle East war. An NPR poll last month showed 62% of Americans oppose military action against Iran. Only 34% support it. Republicans know this. They know if Trump starts a war right before midterms, Democrats will use it against them. Republicans gave you another endless war. Republicans sent your kids to die for oil. Republicans crashed the economy with war. That's the campaign ad. And Republicans know it, so they're staying quiet, hoping Trump backs down, hoping the talks in Oman work. But Trump isn't backing down. He's escalating. Here's what I think is really happening. Trump wants a war, but he wants Iran to start it. He's building up military forces, threatening airstrikes, warning ships to stay away, all hoping Iran does something stupid, fires a missile, attacks a ship, threatens the Strait of Hormuz, anything Trump can use as justification. Because if Iran attacks first, Trump looks like he's defending America. If Trump attacks first, he looks like the aggressor. So he's creating conditions where Iran feels backed into a corner, where Iran might lash out. And the second they do, Trump has his excuse. Massive retaliation, regime change, mission accomplished, and Republicans can say, we had no choice, Iran attacked us. But what if I'm wrong? What if Trump actually wants a deal? What if all this military buildup is just pressure, negotiating tactic, show overwhelming force, make Iran think war is inevitable, then offer a deal at the last second? Classic Trump, maximum pressure, threaten everything, then claim victory when the other side gives minor concessions. It's possible. Trump did this with North Korea. Threatened fire and fury. Then I met Kim Jong-un, shook hands. I called it historic. Nothing actually changed, but Trump got headlines. Maybe that's the play here. Maybe Iran agrees to some symbolic reduction in enrichment. Trump claims total victory. Both sides declare success. War avoided. But here's the problem. North Korea is not Iran. North Korea is isolated. No allies, no oil, no strategic importance beyond nukes. Iran is the opposite. Iran has allies. Iran controls critical shipping lanes. Iran has oil. Iran has proxies across the Middle East. If you pressure North Korea and they collapse, nothing happens. If you pressure Iran and they collapse, the entire region destabilizes. Millions of refugees, oil crisis, global recession. And Trump doesn't seem to understand that, or he doesn't care. Let me ask you this. Trump says Iran wants a deal. He says they'd be foolish not to make one. But what deal? Zero enrichment? That's not a deal. That's surrender. Iran will never agree to that. Every intelligence agency says so. The UN says so. Even Israel's intelligence says Iran won't accept zero enrichment. So if Trump's offer is non-negotiable and Iran's position is non-negotiable, there is no deal. There's only war or backing down. And Trump doesn't back down. Ever. His entire brand is strength, never apologize, never retreat, always win. So if talks fail, what happens? Trump already told us. Something very tough. And we know what that means because he already did it. June 2025, bombs, missiles, war. Except this time there's no ceasefire already in place. This time it's just the US versus Iran. No Israel, no 12-day limit, just open-ended conflict until someone surrenders. And Iran won't surrender. They can't. Their whole government is built on resistance to America. If they surrender to Trump's demands, their government falls. So they'll fight. And thousands will die. Maybe tens of thousands. Maybe more. Here's what scares me most. Trump's timeline. He's threatening war right now. February, 8 months before midterms. If he starts a war in March or April, he owns it by November. Americans will blame him for casualties, for costs, for chaos. But if he waits until September or October, right before the election, then it's too late for political consequences. Republicans are already on the ballot. Early voting has started, and Trump can wrap himself in the flag. rally around the president during wartime. Criticizing the war becomes unpatriotic. Democrats who oppose it look weak. And Trump rides nationalism to keep Congress. That's the cynical calculation. That's the political play. And everything Trump is doing right now fits that timeline. Build up forces now, escalate tensions through summer, start the war in fall, win the midterms on fear and patriotism. So here's my question for you. Do you think Trump is bluffing? Is this all pressure tactics to force Iran into a deal? Or do you think he's actually planning to bomb Iran before the midterms to boost Republican chances? Because those are the only two options. There's no middle ground here. Trump has backed himself into a corner. He's made maximum demands. He's threatened maximum force. If Iran says no, he either backs down and looks weak, or he attacks and starts a war. What do you think he'll do? Drop your answer in the comments. Be honest. Be specific. Tell me if you think this is negotiation or preparation for war. If this story worries you, if you think people need to understand what Trump is setting up, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, because when this escalates, and I promise you it will, the mainstream media will act surprised. But we saw it coming. Share this video. Make sure people know what's happening before the bombs start falling. I'll see you in the next one.